Okay, so when KD and Kyrie were signed to the Brooklyn Nets, I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people that were excited. But I can tell you for sure one person that was not excited: Spencer Dinwiddie. And I'm gonna tell you now before I start this little run he went on to beat the Denver Nuggets. Spencer Dinwiddie, a couple years ago, he was on the rise. I think D'Angelo Russell was injured at the time, and he pretty much took over starting point guard responsibilities. He played out of his mind. He had a great improvement season. And then last year, me personally, I thought that Spencer Dinwiddie would request a trade out of Brooklyn, try to go somewhere to a team that needs a point guard where he could possibly start for another team. But he stayed there, so I was surprised by that. But Brooklyn had such a great year. I'm pretty sure he didn't regret his decision probably to stay. Play with D'Angelo, and the team was phenomenal. They were surprising everybody. But I thought once D'Angelo Russell, this was before free agency went crazy. Back when they were talking about possibly KD and Kyrie going to the Knicks or going to LA or something like that. Back when those talks were going on. And my thought about the whole Spencer Dinwiddie point guard situation was, if D'Angelo Russell leaves, I'm pretty sure Spencer is going to get his chance. And then all that was shot to hell when they signed Kyrie and they signed Kevin Durant. Okay? And there was an interview that I saw not too long ago about they were asking Spencer Dinwiddie, what kind of pitch did you give them to convince Kyrie and KD to come to Brooklyn? And his response was, "Who said that I said anything? Who said I recruited anybody?" Which pretty much means I didn't recruit no fucking body. I'm kind of irritated that I gotta play backup once more. And, this was probably supposed to be, he's probably thinking this is supposed to be my time to show the world that I can be a point guard, a starting point guard in the NBA. And then you go and you sign fucking, you sign Kyrie, which completely trumps that. But, I was interested in this video because it said that he completely just walked past KD when KD was trying to give him a high five, and he got into a little bit of a tiff with Kyrie Irving, and you could just tell by his mannerisms, like when interacting with them or being around them, that Spencer doesn't want them there. Spencer does not want them there. And I saw this game, his whole demeanor, I saw this game as his subtle way of saying, we don't need him, we don't need them here. Like, they should have just handed the keys over to me. I could have been the leader for this team and, pick up where we left off from last season. I'm pretty sure he's thinking about that. So let's get it started.
45 seconds to go. Dinwiddie lays it in. Brooklyn back in front.
Spencer Dinwiddie, if he just smarts the fuck up, requests a trade out of Brooklyn, there are plenty of teams in the NBA right now, possible contending teams that will trade for him. Because, they need a point guard. So, I don't know, man. If I'm him, I'm thinking about, he should be thinking about getting the fuck out of there. Because you're going to have Kyrie there for the next 3 or 4 years. So.
Timeout, Denver.
And Kyrie Irving telling him, go left, go to the basket. He has some nice suggestions and imploring by Coach Irving as Dinwiddie just pulls it back out, revs up, gets to the basket, finishes through Jokic.
You're talking about a guy that can obviously play the point guard position from a facilitation aspect. He can also shoot. He just showed you right there. He can drive. He's a very smart player. He's a reliable guy. He's not a guy that's flashy, that's going to go out there and get you 25 to 30 points a night. around 5 to maybe 10 assists a night. He's going to go out there. He's going to make smart plays. He's going to get his team going. He's the kind of guy, if I'm a teammate, I'm looking to him. So.
Here is Jokic. Trying to get it back to Barton. Grant. To the arms of Jokic.
And keep in mind that this game, KD and Kyrie are not playing. And they're going up against a team in the Western Conference that had the second or third best record last year and could possibly be a contender this year, depending on how their season plays out.
Jokic gets the step inside.
And I'm very high on Jokic. I believe he's the best center in the NBA. I just believe that. I believe it. I trust his game more than I trust Joel Embiid's. And the reason why, I'm not saying that he's more talented than Joel Embiid. I'm saying his whole demeanor, his mindset, he's not as fragile. He's not as mercurial as Joel Embiid, where Embiid, when things are going great, he's like a fucking kid in a candy store. He can't control himself. And when things are not going well, he's full of excuses. And I guess Joel Embiid has added another aspect to his personality this year, which I've noticed. He wants to go out there and beat motherfuckers up. Trying to beat up on Cat. Oh, my God.
Harris gets it to Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie, the crossover. The layup is good.
Great finish. That was a great move to get past Gary Harris. I believe Gary Harris was the one that was defending him. Or it might have been the point guard. I think Monty Morris. I'm just going to go with Gary Harris for right now. It was a nice move to get past the defender and finish at the rim. Like, this dude is finishing over power forwards and center. Like, he is showing the skill set he has. Do not be surprised if Spencer Dinwiddie somewhere around the All-Star break requests a trade. And this game right here, and every game until Kyrie gets back, is his audition tape to other teams.
Dinwiddie does it quickly and effectively. Knicks back in front.
That's another situation we saw Dinwiddie.
He just cool walk past KD. Like, I'm telling you, like, his whole demeanor is, we don't need y'all here. Like, that's his whole demeanor throughout this little clip right here.
It could have possibly been an and one, but nonetheless, did everything you could have asked of him. The ball comes in, he's able to secure it, and he goes quick.
All right, yeah, he was being defended by Gary Harris. All right.
Hard on the attack. Harris can't stay with.
Just beat him off the step. That was beautiful. And then you got Will Barton. Will Barton all up in his face, like heavily contesting his layup. And he just finished with heart. That's what you need in a point guard.
Grant can't try.
As the Nets bench
Oh shit! I got the name wrong. It was Jerry and Grant. My bad.
engaged, celebrating the bucket. Harris gets it into Jokic. Jokic spins into traffic, throws it to Grant. Under 20 seconds to go. Murray finds Barton on the drive. His floater is off. Rebound secured by Prince. Prince, with the Nuggets needing to foul, he is with 7.8 to go.
What a big-time possession by Brooklyn, and high smarts and intelligence of what they were doing defensively.
7.8 seconds remaining, and Brooklyn a 1-point lead. And Sarah, today, another example of just the incredible grit this team has played with. And Prince hits the first. He got him both. 3 points.
All right, and then that was pretty much the game right there. They won after this next possession, but there was another clip I want to show. All right, this is a clip of Spencer Dinwiddie sharing his thoughts on what he thinks about the new signings. Okay, this was around free agency when all the big time free agents were getting picked up.
Welcome back to the Jump. It is still hopping here at NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. Rachel Nichols, Vince Carter, Amin Al-Hassan, and look who's joined the set. Spencer Dinwiddie in the house.
And keep in mind, like I said, Spencer probably had it in his mind when D'Angelo leaves, if D'Angelo leaves, it's my time. It is my time. He waited, 3 years for this? He believes it's his time. But when they signed KD and Kyrie, obviously it wasn't.
Now, the last 24 hours, it's been, oh my God, Clippers. But for the first 24 hours of free agency, it was, oh my God, Nets. Yeah. How did you get KD and Kyrie Irving to come join you? Because this team is going to be off the hook.
That again assumes that I recruited them.
Jeez, just a slap to the face of Rachel Nichols, who has her favorite NBA players, and she kind of lobs up those questions that they're like loaded questions. And then when you don't answer the way she wants you to answer, she kind of pesters you a little bit, like, "Oh, come on, really? Come on, you mean to tell me Anna?" Like, she does shit like that, and I love a guy that can sit there. I have respect for a guy that can sit there and, because that kind of came out wrong when I said that. I respect the guy that can sit there and see how it is. Don't back down from the pressure of the media, because the media will pressure you, and, just say what's on your mind. And he said what was, like, he meant, if, for those that don't know, he meant I did not recruit them. I didn't want them to come here. I thought that once D'Angelo left, it would be my turn. So let's rewind it a little bit. Share it again.
Get KD and Kyrie Irving to come join you, because this team is going to be off the hook.
That again assumes that I recruited them. And that,
Don't lie to us. You are on national television right now. Do not look us in the face.
Yeah, he's on he was on national television, and he was telling you what he had on his heart. He was telling you that.
What? Hey, credit.
I hate it when these media members, these players sign certain places, and what they do is they'll go to like the best player that was already on the team, and they'll talk to him. So what was your sales pitch to this player to convince them to come play with you guys? Did you recruit them in the middle of the season during the playoffs? Like, who says that they did anything?
Time to take credit. No, I think Kyrie and KD have a beautiful friendship, and that led to them teaming up, and I'm glad.
And let me rewind it a little bit, then I'm gonna explain what he meant right there.
Us in the face.
What? Hey, credit, boy. Time to take credit. No, I think Kyrie and KD have a beautiful friendship, and that led to them teaming up, and I'm glad they picked the Brooklyn Nets.
Why do you think that you guys were able to step ahead in that process? Because for months,
All right, well, let's go back to what he said. He said that KD and Kyrie have a beautiful relationship, which means when they signed KD, which he was probably excited about. He probably was excited to get KD. But then they signed Kyrie. And he understands that KD and Kyrie, they're friends off the court. And when KD came to, or KD's, condition to signing with the Brooklyn Nets was, you go out and you get me Kyrie Irving. That was most likely the condition that KD gave the Brooklyn Nets, to go out there and get Kyrie. That was the only way you're going to sign me. And Spencer Dinwiddie understands that in order to get one player who you most likely want, you have to take on who that player wants to be there with him. And, Spencer doesn't have the name. He doesn't have the cachet to say, you know what, I don't think we should sign him. I don't think that we should go out on a limb to bring Kyrie here. And, I'm the point guard. I'm the starter. If you bring Kyrie here, then that means I got to go back to the fucking bench again. But if I'm Spencer, I'm thinking, get the fuck out of there, bro, while you can.
Was the Knicks. And look, the Knicks have the building, MSG. They've got more of the history than, say, the Brooklyn Nets.
No, listen, nobody cares about any team from the fucking New York area like right now, they don't give a shit about him. Right now, Brooklyn is barely doing anything. Their 2 stars that they just spent a shitload of money on has been injured for most of the fucking season, if not all of. Well, no, Kyrie did play sometime. I mean, he did have some time on the court, so it wasn't all season. But nobody cares about these fucking New York teams, man. This is not 20 years ago, back when they had Patrick Ewing, and then they had, like, Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, and the Knicks were kind of dangerous. You know, this is not the same New York team from, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when they had Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith and all this stuff. Like, this is not the same team. So, I mean, nobody cares about these New York teams. But if we had to say who runs New York right now, it's Brooklyn. They're just more talented. And they've won recently more than the New York Knicks.
Dude, why do you think that you guys in the end were the more attractive franchise?
I think when you look at Kenny, he's a player's first coach. I think when you look at Sean, he's a family first GM. I think we have a great culture. I think our young core is pretty big time. Karis LeVert had a great playoff series. Jared Allen, I believe one day will be an all-star.
Yep.
And when you look at people to pair with,
I don't know if they started Jared Allen yet, but when they brought in Dwight Howard, or no, DeAndre Jordan, I keep getting them two mixed up. When they brought in DeAndre Jordan, I believe they said they were going to start him first. And I don't know if Jared Allen was able to, because I don't watch the Nets play. Like, I don't watch them. I'm just not interested in watching their games. But I thought Jared Allen did enough over the past couple of years, especially improving his game, that you wouldn't bring in some fucking guy off the street like DeAndre Jordan, who hasn't had a all-star caliber year in like fucking 5 years, and start him over your young rising star at center, man. Like, come on. I thought that was a complete slap in the face to Jared Allen.
I think we're more ready-made to be
And the reason why they probably did that was because of KD. KD probably had all these conditions that he wanted done if you were going to sign there. And when you shit on your already established talent there for guys that you're bringing in that you could hope could get you to a title, I mean, you kind of piss off the core that you already had.
A championship caliber team when those two guys join the fray. So I think that's why they picked us.
I mean, you were not low-key about it. Did you guys see what Spencer did on Twitter? Right? Because, so, first, you took a shot at all the Knicks fans who have been telling you all season, oh, come on, we're getting KD and Kyrie, right? Yep. So you were like, Knicks fans, I did not forget about you. And you had the burning Elmo, which I think is really one of my favorite things ever. Right? And also this, everyone just said I shouldn't sign the extension. Get out of my mentions. The Elmo, though, is mine.
Set fire to MSG, baby.
Right?
Set fire to MSG.
This guy's doing. That's great.
Spencer knows that he probably should have just went somewhere else. He probably should have went somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure that he thought it was going to be his time. And I'm not saying that he regrets being there. I'm just saying I think that if he could go back and change his mind, there's a chance he would change his... No, there's a strong chance he would change his mind. Because... See, that tweet, man, it fucking... it's the same... It's my thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like, he shouldn't have signed the extension. He probably should have waited. He probably should have waited until after he sees what the Brooklyn Nets what the Brooklyn Nets does in free agency before you sign. But when you're getting money, man, when you're getting paid, you're thinking about that above anything else. You're not really thinking about anything else. You're just thinking about getting your money. And he probably likes playing in Brooklyn. He probably likes living in New York. But Spencer Dinwiddie does not strike me as the kind of guy that is going to be okay with being a career backup. So, let's see what else there is. If there's nothing else, then I'll just end it.
That's great.
Because you are a guy who played elsewhere. You played at Detroit.
Yeah.
And so you become Mr. Net in terms of really singing the praises of the culture, which I got to assume is at least part of the reason why those guys decided to come to Brooklyn. Maybe not because of you, but because of the culture.
Yeah.
Tell the world, put in your own words, what is Brooklyn Nets culture about?
Man, I mean, around the league, sometimes, it really feels like a job. In some places you get, it's a joy to go to work sometimes, and sometimes it's not a joy to go to work. And everybody around, the country has a job. Right. So when you literally enjoy the people that you're around, it brightens your day. It makes you want to be there, makes you play that much harder or work that much harder. And I think at the base level of everything that we have is that type of feeling. Like it literally is a joy to go to work, to go to battle with and for Kenny, and you feel like Sean has your back, from a GM perspective. So I mean that's really what I think the base of the foundation of all of it. It really is.
Thanks so much for.
And I think part of the reason why Spencer likes being in Brooklyn is that he got a chance there that nobody else, I guess, was willing to give him. Because the last team I remember him playing for besides Brooklyn was the Detroit Pistons. And, he was just like the guy probably at the end of the bench to start off. He probably worked his way up a little bit. I think he started making a little bit of noise before he got to Brooklyn. And then once he got to Brooklyn, he just, he played pretty well. And he just slowly improved over time. And, I think what Brooklyn is doing with their young talent is great. Because you got to look at when they got D'Angelo Russell was looked at as a bust. I mean, he was pretty much pushed out of LA. And, he was brought there. I mean, he was this young kid with question mark at potential. You don't know if he could be a great player. You don't know if he's just going to be another fucking bust. But they developed him. They helped him develop into a really great player, into an all-star player. And when they got Spencer was a guy that was used to being on the bench, but then he became a reliable backup, possibly a starter at some point. And same thing goes for Jared Allen. I mean, they just do a great job. And Karis LeVert, they do a great job with developing their young talent. They got a great system going on there. And why wouldn't a player want to be there? You're with a great organization, and not only that, but they're based in New York, one of the biggest media pools or one of the biggest exposure pools in America. Like, I mean, it's a damn near perfect situation, especially when you're winning. So, I don't know. My thoughts on this is Spencer, somewhere around the trade deadline, if he wants to, be a starter, he should request a trade at some point this season. I mean, my guess is he's probably going to try to request. If he does request one, it's going to be around All-Star Weekend. But I don't know, man. With KD and Kyrie being hurt a majority of the time, I don't see Brooklyn winning anything this year. So if I'm Spencer, I'm trying to make the transition as soon as possible. But it is what it is, man. We'll see. All right.